Good morning, friends! Rising unemployment claims could lead to a fourth round of stimulus payments being sent out very soon. Welcome back to my channel. Here's your daily news report and fourth stimulus check update. It's been months since lawmakers have approved another round of stimulus checks. And while monthly child tax credit payments have been hitting Americans' bank accounts since July, not everyone is entitled to those payments. And at this point, boosted unemployment benefits have run out, so the jobless are limited to the benefits paid by their states alone. Given the recent data on the unemployment front, that puts a lot of people in a pretty precarious situation. For the week ending September 18th, there were 351,000 new jobless claims filed. That's a huge jump from the 335,000 claims filed the week before. And it's also a much higher number than the 320,000 new claims economists were anticipating. That week's total was the largest number of new claims filed since the week of August 21st. Not only did the new jobless claims increase, but the number of continuing unemployment claims rose by 181,000. And at this point, nearly 3 million people are receiving jobless benefits. Given the way the crisis is wreaking havoc on many parts of our country, this news isn't at all surprising. In fact, economists feared earlier this summer that rising case numbers would potentially lead business owners to start spending more conservatively and potentially eliminate jobs. And given recent unemployment data, that prediction seems to be coming true. The August jobs report pointed to the lowest national unemployment rate we have ever seen since the start of the crisis. So the big question really boils down to whether things will get bad to warrant another round of stimulus checks. However, if the economic situation continues to decline, then a fourth stimulus check could end up being back on the table. So everyone, do you agree with me that a fourth round of stimulus payments should be provided to jobless Americans? Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below.
Madam President.
Majority Leader.
Now, Madam President, on the CR, the Senate could take action as early as today to address a concern that demands the immediate attention of this chamber, the funding the federal government beyond September 30th. To prevent a government shutdown, Senate Democrats will be introducing a continuing resolution that keeps the government open until early December, while also providing long-sought emergency funding to help Americans still reeling from natural disasters from this summer, as well as funding to help resettle Afghan refugees. We can approve this measure quickly and send it to the House so it can reach the President's desk before funding expires midnight tomorrow. With so many critical issues to address, the last thing the American people need right now is a government shutdown. This proposal will prevent one from happening, and I want to thank my colleagues who are working quickly to prepare this legislation. Now, on debt limit. Now, of course, once we fund the government, we still need to address the urgent matter of extending the debt ceiling and preserving the full faith and credit of the United States. To paraphrase the economist Austan Goolsbee, who just met with our caucus this morning, throughout history there have certainly been governments that have defaulted on their debt, but never has there been a default caused by pure stupidity, in this case, Republican stupidity. Well, Democrats are working to prevent such an outcome from happening now. Over the past week, our caucus has tried to find a workable solution to avoid default on our sovereign debt, but the Republicans have stymied us at every opportunity. On Monday, we considered a continuing resolution, which, among other things, would have extended the debt ceiling until the end of 2022, allowing us to pay for the debt incurred by the previous administration. Republicans unanimously voted in favor of default. So on Tuesday, we gave Republicans another chance. We offered to solve the debt ceiling impasse by doing exactly what Republicans claimed they wanted all along: raise it with only Democratic votes. We gave them a chance to oppose.
In the meantime, some Americans will be getting a stimulus of some sorts in the form of monthly child tax credit payments. Those installments are scheduled to keep coming through the end of December. While the boosted child tax credit is only supposed to apply to the current year, lawmakers are fighting to make the enhanced version a permanent part of the tax code and retain the current setup, where parents receive monthly installments rather than a large lump sum. The boosted credit has already done a good job of helping families make ends meet and lifting children out of poverty, so some aid is going out to the people who need it. The prospect of a government shutdown this week has many Americans very nervous, especially those who depend on federal benefits to help them pay for their bills, buy necessities, and obtain health care. It's especially worrying for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program recipients who depend on the program to feed their families. According to the Nonprofit Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, protections are in place to ensure the distribution of SNAP benefits during a shutdown, at least for the short term. But a lengthy shutdown with no debt ceiling increase would severely limit the government's ability to borrow money and fund these programs, meaning SNAP payments could face severe reductions and delays. Unless Congress approves a spending bill by September 30th, no sure thing, even at this late date, the government would essentially run out of money and be faced with the prospect of shutting down non-essential federal services. Essential services, or those related to public safety, will continue operating, but there are exceptions. For example, the SNAP program would continue to operate even after a shutdown. That plan states that in the event of a lapse in annual appropriations, for example, a shutdown, the contingency calls for the continuation of the essential federal activities and funding to maintain the core programs of the Nutrition Safety Net, including Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, the Child Nutrition Programs, and the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for women, infants, and children. But that plan only covers a few days after a shutdown begins. If the shutdown stretches on for weeks or more, the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities said that the government would need to impose a sharp, massive spending reduction totaling roughly $1.2 trillion just in fiscal year 2022, which amounts to a reduction of about 30% over the course of the year for every federal program, which amounts to a reduction of about 30% over the course of the year for every federal program except Social Security, Medicare hospital insurance, and interest. Among the example it cites, low-income households receiving SNAP benefits could see their benefits held up for weeks or even months. Friends, thank you so much, friends, and I hope you have a very blessed